in a startling change of events. A late-night incident that is now turning into total turmoil has reality TV viewers going insane. Harris, Rasheeda Frost, and Andy Smith's husband were allegedly spotted together on camera, and the interaction went beyond a simple photo shoot. Oh no, this one is surrounded by a lot of hot speculations. And now claims of a leaked personal film are tearing the internet apart. According to people acquainted with the situation, Rasheeda was seen getting too comfortable at a private after-hours gathering in Atlanta, but that was only the beginning. Anonymous accounts started suggesting that there was a compromising film within hours. And let's suppose that it couldn't be stay put because the drama and betrayal are more complicated than anyone could have imagined. It all started outside one of the most upscale after-hours entertainment places on what seemed to be a normal Thursday night in Atlanta, complete with velvet ropes, flashing lights, and muggy air. The streets are humming, supporters are stunned, and irrational rumors are rampant on social media. Have you cleared up Kirk's mess, Rasheeda? Are they leaving Yandi behind? Finally, is this video authentic? Even the most private events can't be kept secret when two of reality TV's most polarizing personalities appear. Even though the city's guest list was high-level, exclusive, and invitation only. Witnesses claim that Harris from Mendeecees and Rasheeda Frost arrived in the same vehicle minutes apart, which sparked at rumors right away. Rasheeda was first to arrive, smiling, calm, and immaculate in a sleek black satin outfit that complemented her features. Dr. Mendeecees came in as he bowed his head beneath a loose-fitting cap. Since this is usually captured by the cameras, people initially believed it to be ID video, showed that they spent the entire night together, even if it's possible that they were at the same event by accident. One participant said that they all left together through the back entrance at approximately 2:40 a.m. Twitter was ablaze when they sat side by side, leaning close to one another, laughing and conversing in the VIP area. They were neither protected nor encouraged, a shaky 15-second video that appeared as the sun rose shows Mendeecees standing right behind Rasheeda at the bar, his hand briefly touching her lower back as she mutters something in his ear. Fans, take your time watching the video frame by frame. For instance, one user tweeted, "This isn't any Jesus energy." Mendeecees seized no risk at all for the Frost Queen, wrote another. The memes were vicious and the energy was tumultuous. The situation deteriorated after a story that set a pea cake on fire was shared on an unidentified Instagram account, which is known for revealing details about celebrities before the mainstream. Media.strong rumors are circulating in the Atlanta area that Dee and Rasheeda's private video is being discussed in public. It is said to be quite personal and was apparently recently filmed. Followers were shocked. Yandi followers were furious, and Frost supporters were living in denial. The responses were swift. Kirk Frost also ceased posting his usual workout selfies. And any stories? People realized that was more than just a story to gain influence. Riva subsequently disclosed a serious occurrence. But Yandi's silence didn't last long. She posted a revolving array of family photos to social media in a single day while writing, "I stand tall in truth, love, and loyalty." Commenters were inquiring as to whether this hue was Mendeecees unfaithful and where I might purchase the movie. All that was visible was a blank screen with the words, "Some things are just as the hours passed" on it. The number of elements of a leaked video that were misinterpreted did not decrease when that ambiguous word was misinterpreted. How about back entrances at night? What about intimate encounters that are captured on film? As the pressure increased, the public expected answers, but this is where everything went wrong. A second video that showed Rasheeda sitting by herself in what appeared to be a VIP lounge area with Mendeecees surfaced just as people were beginning to move on, believing that to be simply another inflated story. For a moment too long to be innocent, she removed her heels, he removed his jacket, and her fingers barely touched his thigh as they laughed gently. Then she leaned forward and put her head on his shoulder, which caused a stir online. They leaned on each other before they fell, whether it was real or not. One source claims that Rasheed has been confiding in Mindy for months since the most recent round of Kirk's infidelity scandal went viral, while another says that Mindy felt neglected in his marriage as Yandi focused on her activism and work. Fans began contrasting Mindy's charisma and emotional openness with Rasheed's silence, which frequently said more than words. There was a particular weight to the way Rasheeda and Maisie remained unusually silent and cautious with their postings, though a sense of truth remained. They seemed to be trapped in the middle of a storm. No one had verified the tape, which claims to show much more than a shoulder lean. Despite many combing Reddit and Telegram channels for proof of the existence of a private, intimate, and maybe sexual movie, the couple's close pal said that Kirk was taken by surprise and was asking for behind-the-scenes answers. The plot was only getting thicker when Kirk's longtime side chick and child's mother, Jasmine, entered the conversation with a lip-glossed selfie that sent shockwaves across the timeline. He had packed up and left their shared house days earlier because he felt publicly humiliated, saying, "I'm upset, but mostly feel ashamed with everyone watching." A triangle of love turned square in cycles secrets, and all the emotions were running hot. Yandi, who maintained her composure in public, unfollowed a number of ATL influencers. Rita, who remained largely silent save for one cryptic post about choosing peace over people-pleasing. And Kirk, who was embarrassed and seemingly upset that Rasheeda had done what Kirk has been doing to give that woman some space. Crashed at MD's, a hotel downtown. Someone close to him claimed that he was attempting to prepare for the fallout, even though he hadn't tweeted, spoken to fans, or even addressed the media. That being said, late one evening, things took a different turn when a blogger received an anonymous email with the subject line, "You're missing the real story." The email included a screenshot that allegedly showed a text exchange between me and a user saved on his phone under the name R. The note claimed that we gave in to the moment, and I wrote an apology. As the rumors spread, everyone knew that this topic would not be settled anytime soon. Shortly after that blog shared the screenshot, another source revealed the message, saying in a woman's unmistakably Rasheeda voice, "I didn't want it to happen like that. I didn't mean to hurt anyone." It was only supposed to be comfort Rasheeda's voicemail, but when it went viral online, the damage became evident. The whispers became roars, and the audience froze. Had they regretted it now? But had the video actually happened? Had they gone too far and they didn't even realize it? Fans were astonished by the emotion that accompanied the deed, which was a scandal about vulnerability and crossing a line that would never be stopped. The voice was fragile and nearly broken, touching everyone who heard it. By the next morning, the study had progressed beyond conjecture through the use of body language analysis, looping recordings, timestamp comparison, and an effort to reconstruct the treacherous timeline. Investigators had taken over after weeks, and months had passed since Kirk had known all along. However, a family source claimed that behind closed doors, she was distraught and felt ashamed because it was unexpected. Despite the chaos in the common area, Yandi remained united in public, posting a video of herself and her children smiling despite their evident anxiety with the caption, "A mother's strength lies in her silence." While some people commended her for keeping her style, others begged her to speak the truth. The video and voicemail are piling up, and Yandi's life is crumbling too. Rasheeda's social media manager stopped distributing her YouTube video, and her crew was rushing back to Atlanta. However, what about the backstage area? Rasheeda was reportedly losing momentum to Kirk, who eventually spoke up, though, not in the way anybody had expected, and made a surprising appearance on a since-deleted Instagram. Rumor has it that Rasheeda had cut off all contact with everyone, but her mother and one close friend. Fans were incredulous when he said to the camera, "You people think it's to watch my wife like this out there. Even though I've been dragged for years, everyone is portraying her as innocent today. Although I'm never perfect, I'm not perfect either." Wait, everybody. You weren't sobbing when you were peeping on me, so don't cry now. I also received receipts. He was sitting in what looked like a hotel room and was visibly agitated. Would Kirk divulge his own controversial information? What did receipts imply to him? Was the entire thing turning into a husband-wife civil war? The emergence of phony videos, blurry, useless material with misleading captions puts people in a bad situation on the internet. Reddit topics received thousands of comments, while traffic to Telegram groups surged. No one had the mental capacity to comprehend that people were now dragging Kirk and Jasmine back into the middle of the tea scene, Jasmine said in the comments, describing the portions that fans claim to have intense, intimate, and indisputably real. Full video until a burner account on X, formerly Twitter, shared this enigmatic remark. Yes, it is 3:47. There is just one camera angle. It is in an Atlanta hotel room, and it will occur in a few minutes. Before the tweet was deleted, screenshots were captured and shared extensively. Reputations, marriages, and careers were all at stake in this scenario. MDC was said to have been hiding in New York at the time, avoiding photographers, not answering phones, and only reacting to legal counsel. Those close to him claimed that he was getting ready to make a statement. But he was also having emotional difficulties and didn't believe, according to one insider. He thought it would go unnoticed, but everything changed after the voicemail release. There have been reports of lawyers being called in the background and cease and desist letters being sent to a number of blogs. MCs allegedly told a friend in private, "I didn't know someone was recording," adding in a screenshot of a group chat that was made public. "I promised it was confidential. That wasn't supposed to be seen." However, privacy had long since disappeared, and the damage was already done. Rasheed's team was also working to the source of the leak. Some admirers were relieved, while others felt fooled by the destruction of Rasheeda's reputation as the strong woman who remained true despite everything Kirk did. For a long period, some supporters called for empathy, while others wanted accountability. A supporter remarked, "She is human, and she is also entitled to her break from the backlash. But was her image genuine?" Both her reputation and her ethics were questioned. Had always been who she really was. Had she not spoken up about Kirk? Or was this the start of something far darker? Hotel security footage recorded just one night prior to the purported origination of the original video further muddied the story. They glanced at Koi as it depicted Rasheeda and Maisie strolling along a corridor, hand in hand, heads together, and not in a rush. There was more to this, perhaps even more if the video was real. And then, most surprisingly, Yandi and Kirk were seen sitting across from one another at a peaceful corner cafe. Supporters were confused when paparazzi-style pictures of them appeared in Midtown. There were no grins or handshakes, just serious looks and in-depth discussion. Did some others think that Yandi and Kirk were cooperating for survival rather than retaliation? Or was this a counsel for war, a calculating tray? Their homes, trademarks, and photographs were at stake. And in the world of reality TV, nothing is ever as it seems. It was about coalitions over who would tell the tale, and by this point it was more than simply a leaked film. When everyone believed they had heard everything, another insider who said they had been working at the hotel that night came forward, proving that it wasn't completed. What were they saying? Would all be different? That night at work, the anonymous hotel staff's remark, "You only know half the story," hit the blogosphere like a ton of bricks. Despite all the planning and damage control, the public continued to ask the same questions. What really transpired in that hotel room? Who leaked the video? And why does this story seem to have more to it? These were receipts, and if this hotel employee was right, the night in question wasn't an emotional slip. The internet had been waiting for this evidence that it wasn't hearsay anymore. The whistleblower posted a series of direct messages to a popular gossip page outlining everything. She checked in under a different name when they arrived, which was approximately midnight, and he showed up 10 minutes later. At the front desk, they joked and were taciturn, but not too taciturn. Was there another person in the room with a covered camera set up? That was the obvious suggestion. Was the leak the result of an inside job? Theories regarding hotel security protocols began to surface on Reddit and X forums as a result of these direct messages. I believed he might have been a stylist or assistant, but I'm not sure now. I saw another person enter the room after them, but I didn't see a camera or any staff. Instead, I noticed a man wearing a HOODIE as everyone else scrambled for answers. Rasheeda, sitting in what looked like her home office, suddenly broke her silence for good this time, perhaps in retribution. With her hair pulled back, her eyes bulging, and her voice trembling, she went live on Instagram and said, "This is on camera, but I can't continue to watch Lee spiral out of control instantly." Over 100,000 people saw the live stream. And I won't stand here and defend something I know is wrong. I wounded unworthy people. I made a mistake, and I did something I never would have thought to do. She hesitated, then went on. For years, despite being humiliated, I was the one who kept everything together, cleaning up other people's messes and grinning. I lost my sense of significance at one point, but someone stood up and took notice. It was obviously incorrect, but it was real, and no one wanted to hear that part. Don't assess comprehension alone. Rasheeda had just confessed something shocking on tape. Some fans finally complimented her honesty, but she became irate. "She's human," a bystander remarked. "Don't act like it's self-care, girl. You also breached your vows." Notwithstanding its impact, the live also sparked more inquiries about the specifics of what transpired. Was she attempting to steer the topic, or was she being truthful out of guilt? Mendeecees, where were you? Despite the explicit nature of the film, there is no denying the emotional and physical connection between the men and she. A few hours after that reaction, Mendeecees posted a rare black and white image of himself sitting by himself on a rooftop with the city's skyline in the background. It wasn't a live interview, video, or anything, but it had a lot to say, and some people wanted more. The phrase, "I apologize," didn't imply that the person was bad. It just said, "I'm human. What are you sorry for?" others asked, enjoying the simplicity. But Yandi said nothing. When Kirk Frost posted an old photo of himself and Rasheeda in their early 20s, with the caption, "We've been through worse," fans started to feel sorry for Kirk instead of dragging him. She hadn't logged in since meeting Kirk in the cafe, and there were now rumors that she had left the house she shared with Moses. According to one source, she packed a suitcase and left with the kids. Someone close to Jasmine, who had more tea and was waiting for the right time to spill it, claims that there was more turmoil simmering beneath the surface. She is texting old conversations, which suggests that Rasheeda knew about the information Kirk was keeping secret, but she won't keep it that way forever. When Kirk was made fun of online for years for his disdain, some people said that he had built this karma, while others defended him, saying that it only took the form of heels and lip gloss, as everyone was preoccupied with Kirk. Yandi Mendeecees and Rasheeda supporters were anticipating even more chaos. However, someone else appeared like a scene stealer on a reality TV show called Final Buru's Candy. The musician, reality star, and close friend of Yandi and Rasheeda, who used strong language on her podcast, asking, "I won't name names, but what happens if you approach temptation as a form of therapy? Playing in the game will teach you a lot about heartbreak, sweetie." Candy didn't need to name them because everyone could hear the shadow and understood who she was talking about. Candy was also not done. Thought to be a slick little city, Atlanta is constantly being watched, and some of you forget that loyalty is a two-way street. Once again, her remarks caused a stir on the internet, with some accusing her of exploiting the situation and others asserting that she was just being truthful. Regardless, it was clear that the inner circle of ATL royalty was disbanding. But fans were anticipating more turmoil at the same time. Something unexpected happened with the treachery and more tea. The entire film, which was less than 4 minutes, long and had a grainy quality, was leaked not on Instagram or well-known websites, but rather on private discussion boards, Telegram, and other hidden online locations, and links are being distributed like illicit products. Now, when the reports were true, everything changed and supporters were taken down from the internet. Some were furious, while others watched in startled silence. When the entire video leaked, the internet was flooded with screenshots and clips, were shared on questionable forums and deleted through private direct messages. However, didn't change the fact that the damage had already been done because the video was obviously intimate, explicit, and real. After M's vague apology and Rasheeda's heartfelt response, there will be no more excuses. After Rasheeda's honest, live performance, there are no more justifications. And the timing of everything seemed like a prearranged nuclear detonation, plummet. At a time when people demanded responsibility and tensions were already rising, with the lines "you can't heal in a place that broke you" written in white letters. Instagram merely displayed a dark screen 24 hours later. Yandhi took a position saying don't use long captions, no sentimental lies. In addition, DC removed all of Rasheeda's pictures from her feed and unfollowed him. Her posts about her family trip and anniversary were removed, and the internet went viral again. Supporters said she was in her Beyoncé Lemonade period and was finished. However, she has already consulted a divorce lawyer, so don't expect forgiveness. According to one insider, Mendeecees won't be anticipating her departure, which she is purposefully arranging. In contrast, Rasheeda vanished completely, allegedly canceling a clothing line event scheduled for that weekend, turning off direct messages and deleting all comments following the lead. She apparently went into lockdown with her family and close friends and stayed in her house for days. Her mother, who consistently stands up for her, even shared a mysterious anecdote on social media. Others claim that he was living low in Miami after leaving New York, possibly with a cousin, and discussing with a crisis management public relations firm how, if at all, he would move on. Stories about past romance and hip-hop videos depicting Rasheeda sobbing over Kirk's betrayals. Yandhi standing up for MDC while he was incarcerated. And fans solving the case like detectives were all over the streets at the same time. One tweet, which showed Rasheeda endorsing a man who consistently mistreated her, went viral. A leaked email exchange between Rasheeda's management and a reality show producer, which included an offer for a limited documentary series provisionally titled ATL Betrayal, Love, Loyalty, and Lies, was reportedly rejected by her group, according to one insider. The pitch was honest, the offer was sincere, the money was enormous, and it provided an unadulterated, unfiltered behind-the-scenes glimpse into the aftermath of one of the most significant scandals in the history of reality TV. Intersection in DS Way is the best script you could write, but someone did it because production companies were suddenly like vultures surrounding the controversy. Jasmine reappeared with receipts in the middle of all of this, posting a carousel of screenshots of Kirk's past texts at a really startling moment. Kirk, who was frequently the king of exploiting disorder for springtime, reportedly consoled her against turning into material just yet, since she is not interested in doing so. Some petitioners also called attention to Rasheeda's sponsorships, ping firms, and asked that they sever their affiliations in an attempt to get MC to drop MC from future performances, with texts implying that Rasheeda knew he had been creeping. Even more recently than the public thought, fans were going crazy following the first baby incident. Was the upset wife really Rasheeda, or had she always been sly? Jasmine wrote in the caption, "She played the victim well, but we all received filth. Some of us are simply adept at maintaining our cleanliness in public." Kirk, was this romance with Mies the first time she went out, or was this the first time she was caught? Strangely, despite all the public devastation, one person stayed silent: Mona Scott, the reality TV queen and the creative force behind hip-hop and Love, whose shows have witnessed civilizations rise and fall. The entire scandal seemed to come to a head once more, with more questions, uncertainty, and mayhem. There were rumors circulating that she was already changing the plot points, and that filming had been halted for a while to rethink the plot. The story depicted him in the studio, possibly feeling the heat, with music playing and heavy eyes. The only thing displayed on the screen was that there was nothing to say. The truth doesn't have to shout. Although the weight of betrayal between two women who were once sisters in loyalty is heavy, given that cameras are rolling as they stand across from one another, fans are unsure that it will occur because this drama doesn't feel like it's finished. Even as the dust settles, it seems like the start of something even messier, if not deeper. Too many questions remain, such as who took the film, why it is leaking, whether the blackmail was successful, and above all, where will everyone go? Next, the repercussions are about the ramifications, not just what happened in the hotel that evening. The story is still being told, and fans are still keeping an eye on these athletes by updating their schedules in anticipation of the next live event and the next enigmatic caption because of this scandal. Rasheeda might be hiding, Mendeecees might also be silent, Yandi might be recuperating, and the next explosion could occur at any time. Rasheeda's words are not as powerful as her silence. And M's apologies were dramatic, stunning, painful, and unexpected. A trail of heartache, rage, and unresolved difficulties has been left behind by Rasheeda and M's late-night liaison. These issues include leaked films, public tantrums, quiet betrayals, and covered hotel encounters. What started out as murmurs turned into a full-fledged storm that shattered relationships, rattled the industry, and forced fans to reevaluate their long-held beliefs about love, loyalty, and the people they had supported. Please leave a remark below with your ideas as we're reading everything. Yandi and Elle both touched the surface, but even if her world is burning behind her, she is departing with a proud minor. Will this be the last journey, or will there be more? Let's be honest, we still don't fully understand why the film was leaked, why Rasheeda will never again appear in public, or whether there is even the remotest possibility that retaliation or forgiveness may be hiding in the background. This is a tragedy. It is pure, it is a real-life performance. Click the like button to enable those notifications and receive the most recent information. If you're as terrified as we are, life isn't quite over yet, I promise, so be on your guard.